Christopher Scoville, when you're building a website for a client, are you building it from the perspective of what the consumer is looking for on the most basic level, parentheses, needs and wants of the home service being offered, or building it from the perspective of what your client wants, ego and proudness of their company? It's a really good question, Mr. Scoville. Typically, when we come into a situation, we'll talk to a prospective client or a client that's signed, and we have a process to go through. In many instances, we don't run into this scenario. It's typically like, you guys know what to do, so please do it for us, make us something great. But in the event that it's somebody who has very particular things that they want, we'll typically advise like, hey, based off of our history of doing this and our track record of success, these are the things that we would want to do. This is the way that we would want to do it. These are the reasons why. Because a lot of the times, if I have an opinion about something, it's typically because I feel like I know enough about it to have an opinion. But my opinion's not always right, and somebody can educate me as to, why they would do something a different way, and a lot of the times that'll be enough to move me off of my opinion, and it's the same thing I find with most clients that we deal with. So I think it's an opportunity to educate. We have certain things that we incorporate into web designs that we know work for certain. And we strongly encourage people to allow us to do those things. But then there's some things that are kind of just less important from a user experience perspective. And if a client really wants it, ultimately it's their site. We'll encourage them to do things the way that we found to be most impactful. But ultimately, it's their service that they're paying for. So we'll acquiesce if need be.